During the embroidery process, you may run into all kinds of questions. In this video, we'll walk through some of the most common ones in detail. Question 1. Can I pull out 2 strands of floss at the same time? The answer is no. Take a length of embroidery floss. Each length contains 6 strands. The correct way to separate them is like this. Pull out 1 strand at a time. If you try to pull 2 strands at once, like this, partway through, you'll find it gets stuck and won't budge. That's because as you pull, the strands tangle and knot. So my recommendation is, whenever you need to separate strands, always pull them out. One at a time, like this. This prevents tangling and knotting during separation. Question 2. Do I need to join a new thread when one runs out? The answer is no. For example, once you've finished stitching a section, simply go to the back of the fabric and tie a knot. Once the knot is tied, trim the thread. Then take a fresh length of floss and continue stitching. Question 3. Can I skip organizing the floss and pull directly from the skein? The answer is no. If you don't organize the floss first and just try to pull strands directly from the skein, the entire skein will tangle up into a knot. It becomes very difficult to untangle. And during the process of pulling, it won't flow smoothly. It will keep knotting up like this. So my recommendation is, follow the floss prep steps shown at the start of video 01. Question 4. After finishing, can I leave the loose thread ends on the back? The answer is, it's not recommended. For example, once you've finished stitching a design, if you just remove the needle like this and leave the thread without trimming it, when you stitch other designs later, that loose thread on the back could get pulled up to the front of the fabric or get tangled with other threads during stitching. Just like this. So my recommendation is, after each section, always tie a knot on the back. Then trim off the excess thread. Question 5. After tying a knot on the back, how long should the tail be? Generally, we leave it like this, about 2 centimeters long. If the tail is too short, it can easily come undone. If the knot isn't tight enough, it could slip out like this. If the tail is too long, it may get tangled with other threads. So leaving about 2 centimeters is the safest approach. Question 6. Can I force the thread through if it won't pull? The answer is no. Let me give you an example. Say you're pulling the thread and notice it won't move. If you force it, the thread may snap, or the entire fabric could pucker up. So when the thread won't pull, check what's causing it. If it's a strand count issue, for example here, I'm using 6 strands, which is naturally harder to pull than fewer strands. In that case, when pulling, just apply a little more force. If it's a situation like this, where the thread on the back has knotted up, and that's causing it to stick, then you must untangle the knot first. Loosen it like this, then go back to the front and pull. The thread will come through easily. Question 7. Is there a fixed stitching order? The answer is no, because stitches themselves don't have a strict required order. For example, if you stitch these 2 stitches and then don't want to do these 2 next, you can move to the ones below. That's completely fine. However, for designs, especially ones like this, that involve multiple stitches, there is usually a recommended order. So I recommend referring to the instructions in the video tutorial to understand the specific order. Question 8. Do I have to start from product 01, then 02, then 03? Not necessarily. However, product 01 includes how to use the tools, as well as the preparation steps before you begin. If you're not starting from 01, and instead beginning with 02, 03, or another design, I recommend going to the 01 video tutorial first to find the tool usage section and the preparation steps before stitching. Watch through that section to make sure your embroidery goes smoothly. Question 9. Is there a time limit for completing the embroidery? There is no time limit. You can complete it at your own pace, because everyone learns embroidery at their own pace. So feel free to practice during your free time until the piece is finished. Question 10. Can I use a large needle with 3-strand floss? Yes, you can. In our product instructions, there is a detailed guide here. 1 to 2 strands, use the small needle. 3 to 4 strands, use the medium needle. 5 to 6 strands, use the large needle. However, if, during stitching, you find the small or medium needle inconvenient, you can simply use the large needle for everything. That's perfectly fine. Just use whichever needle feels most comfortable. Question 11. Do I have to use a seam ripper to remove wrong stitches? Can I use scissors instead? Yes, you can. Both work fine. For example, if a stitch didn't turn out the way you wanted, you can use scissors to remove it by cutting it out like this. That's completely fine. However, compared to scissors, a seam ripper is generally more convenient to use. Question 12. How can I improve my embroidery skills? The answer is, the key to improving is practice. I recommend buying 2 sets of the same embroidery kit. Use the first set purely for practice, to get familiar with the techniques. For the second set, use it to get creative and refine your work, making the finished piece even more refined. Question 13. Once I've learned these stitches, does that mean I've mastered embroidery? The answer is, these are just the foundational stitches. As you apply them to actual designs, you'll develop a deeper feel for embroidery. Practice is always the key to improving your skills.